ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the Fighting Irish, Brian Kelly. How much of that did you just hear?
I heard that I'm the best dancer.
And the best singer, and the best comedian.
Well, you know, it's interesting because both of those guys wanted to control the food schedule for next week. Oh, really? And I said it depends on how well you do at the luncheon. So you can see if food is a motivating factor for both those guys, they'll say just about anything.
Normally we talk about the game, and Coach is probably going to slap me for saying this, but about 2 hours ago, Coach Kelly became the newest honorary member of the Notre Dame Monogram Club.
Thank you.
I'll be quick, but in the 97 years of the club, they've only awarded 297 honorary monograms, including Pope John Paul II, Ronald Reagan, Father Hesburgh, Lou Holtz, Jack Swarbrick, Mike Bray, Muffet McGraw, and now you.
It's a great honor. Yeah, it's a great honor. And, you know, certainly when you talk about the Monogram Club and wearing that jacket, the thing that I take with it more than anything else is the recognition of what it takes to be a Monogram winner. Because I work with these student athletes on a day-to-day basis, and you get to see one side of these young men, their personalities, but you also have to understand the rigorous academic schedule that they have to go through on a day-to-day basis, and the demanding schedule that I put them through as it relates to a championship football program, and they have to balance all of those things. So to wear that jacket is such an honor because they have to sacrifice so much to get that.
Talk about a little bit the two guys who were just out here, because it's part of the Notre Dame process, both how Louis Nix has grown, but also Tyler Stockton, a young man who came in here very highly rated. He hasn't gotten that many snaps, although he's worked his way into your rotation on defensive line now, but you brought him back for a fifth year because he contributes to this team in many ways the fans may not see.
I think everybody knows about Louis Nix as a person and as a player. I'm most proud of him in his personal development and more than anything else, his maturity. And each and every year he has grown as a person. A young man that has come from Jacksonville, Florida. He's come to Notre Dame. He is going to have his degree at the end of the semester from Notre Dame. He's going to go on and be successful, most likely a first-round draft pick in the NFL. And we're going to be very proud of him in the way he handles himself off the field. He's not going to be somebody that you read about in the newspapers about making poor decisions. I'm so very proud of his maturity and the way he's developed as a young man. And Tyler Stockton, on the other hand, is a guy that hasn't played much football but comes back as a fifth year. He's already in the master's program and our MBA program here at Notre Dame, and he just adds such a team dimension. He does whatever is asked of him, and that's why he'll be so successful, because he's about team. So I'm just so proud of both of these young men.
Now, as we talked earlier, 3-1's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And you knew this year, in a sense, would be kind of a transition year because you lost tremendous talent and leadership off last year's team, and you don't exactly have a breather through the month of September to develop the roles for the guys who are stepping into those roles. So at this point, after 4 games, where is this team right now in relation to where you had hoped they would be?
We're work in progress. We're not there yet. I mean, we have some things that we have to certainly get better at, but we'll be a better football team each and every week. You'll see improvement in the areas that we have been deficient in along the way. Having said that, we've played a pretty rugged schedule in our first 4 weeks, so you really don't have a big margin for error as you continue to grow. I'm confident that this team will be better in November as we move forward, but more importantly, the one constant with this team and one constant that you want in your program is they know how to win football games. You saw the video, and I was talking to you, Jack, in that clip, is that they know how to win football games. Regardless of what it looks like at the end of the day, they believe that they're going to win. And that's something that all programs strive for, is that when their players take the field, regardless of what happens in the first, second, and third quarter, when it gets down there to the fourth quarter, they believe they're going to win.
And again, we talked about the stat, 11-1 in games decided by 7 points or less the last 12 games. Plus, when you look at your history, not just here, but your teams have always been better month by month, better in October, and virtually unbeatable in November and December.
Well, it's a plan that we have in place and have had in place in the way that we train our players, the way we treat our players, and really what our expectations are in terms of going back to what I said earlier, is that we want to be a better football team in November. And along the way, we're going to have to, scratch and claw to get a couple of wins early on in the season, in which we have. And we're going to be faced with another incredible challenge this Saturday against a very talented and well-coached football team in Oklahoma.
And two great programs, folks. Oklahoma has the fewest losing seasons of anyone in college football. Notre Dame has the second fewest losing seasons of anyone in college football. But this series has been lopsided. 9 wins for Notre Dame, 1 for Oklahoma. You know they're talking about that. You know they remember last year when you played certainly your best game to that point and maybe your best game of the year. So you know you're going to get the best possible performance tomorrow from a very talented opponent.
Yeah, and I think you're looking at two programs certainly that want that opportunity to get that signature win. Oklahoma obviously is looking at Notre Dame as that win, and we're certainly looking at Oklahoma. So there's a natural respect of both programs. I have a great amount of respect for Coach Stoops and what he's done. If you look at Oklahoma's program, they are the consummate program for consistency of success year in and year out, and nobody does it like Oklahoma. That's where we want to get to, where year in and year out it's a 10 and 11 win season. Oklahoma under Coach Stoops has done that. That's the next step for our program, that every single year you're talking about 10 and 11 wins. And so both programs now going into this game wanting that big national win.
Football is the ultimate team game, but again, the media and fans have a tendency to zero in on things, and certainly when you look at Oklahoma right now, it's Blake Bell, the Belldozer, who in his first start at quarterback threw for 413 yards and 4 touchdowns 2 weeks ago.
Pretty good start,
yeah.
He's a guy, though, that has more than just one start under his belt. He's played in some big games. Played in a big game last year against West Virginia. Saw a lot of action in some tough goal line situations. So a heralded high school player coming out, 5-star quarterback, can throw the football, is big, is physical. He's a multi-dimensional quarterback. He gives them so many more options, as well as a deep and talented wide receiving core, running back core. They could put 4, 5, 6 different guys out there, and you would not see a drop-off at all. So probably one of the most talented teams that we're going to see here in South Bend in some time.
Now, as I talked about at the top of this luncheon, the Leprechaun Legion and the Kelly Cares Foundation asking you to wear green tomorrow. Kelly Cares is paying for 40,000 green pom-poms, and it's not just a gimmick. There's a purpose to this, to generate the kind of spirit and atmosphere that you think can give your team a boost in a big game.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about two teams that are looking for that big win, that home crowd advantage can be that energy that puts you over the top. And so, obviously we're looking for everybody in here to obviously bring the green with them, and certainly the pom-poms are just an add to that, but creating that home field advantage that can go a long way in giving our guys that jolt that they need to play in this big atmosphere.
So your keys to the game tomorrow?
Well, I think they've been very similar all year. First and foremost for us, we've got to take care of the football. If we've done that, we've been very successful. Defensively, cannot give up big plays. Oklahoma has been able to score on some big plays this year. We've got to force them to be methodical down the field, and I think the final thing for us is get off the field on 3rd down. If we can put those 3 things together, it should be one heck of a good football game.
Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Irish head coach Brian Kelly